morning. Good morning again. How are you this morning?
Morning.
Safe and healthy?
Morning.
Healthy.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice to
Morning.
meet you. But I think I hope that I can finish or complete this lecture on time, because there's an explanation from Pak Umar this morning. Okay, now let's begin with the characteristic of jurisprudence. Do you hear my voice?
Yes.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Clear?
It is.
Well, I think, yeah.
Clear.
Well, we begin with science is not the same as scientia. I think you assume that the word science comes from Latin word scientia. You have to read it scientia. Scientia. It seems to be the root of science is scientia. It is. It is. But science is not the same as scientia. Okay? Sometimes it seems the same thing like jurisprudence, you know. In English, we call it jurisprudence. But in Dutch, there's a word jurisprudentie. Jurisprudentie. It is not jurisprudence. Okay, I will show you the word in Dutch. The word this way. It is a Dutch word. It seemed to be the translation of jurisprudence, right? But
Yes.
it is different. What is jurisprudency? Or the reading is jurisprudency instead of jurisprudence. Jurisprudency. Jurisprudency in English is case law. Case law. So I'll tell you, it is in English is case law. You know, it's not English because it is given red. Case law. It is jurisprudence. What is it? It is judicial decision that is res judicata. Res judicata means that the judicial decision or the judgment may not be appealed anymore. May not be appealed anymore. It is case law, and it becomes a source of law. I think after the midterm test, I will tell you about the case law. But I think this is only to show you that jurisprudence is not jurisprudence. But if you see the word in France, the same spelling. Okay, I think I have to go back to this one. If you see jurisprudence in France, it is jurisprudence in Dutch. Okay, we will discuss later. Now I have to tell you about the word science is not the same as scientia, because if it is there's another conjugation, perhaps scientiae. It is Latin. Latin is very complicated language. So now, what is science? I rely upon Webster Dictionary. Science means knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as obtained and tested through scientific method. Okay, again. Knowledge or a system of knowledge covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as obtained and tested through scientific method. Otherwise, or if the knowledge is not obtained and tested through scientific method, it is not a science. Again. Science means covering general truths or the operation of general laws, especially as obtained method. If it is not obtained and tested through scientific method, it is not a science. Now, what is scientific method? Sorry. I don't know whether there is a scientific method here. Oh, no. This one. Scientific method. Scientific method again refers to procedures for the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the recognition and formulation of a problem, the collection of data through observation and experiment, and the formulation and testing of hypotheses. Principles and procedures for the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the recognition and formulation of a problem, the collection of data through observation and experiment, and the formulation and testing of hypotheses. So there should be experiment. There should be experiment or observation. Well, if you go to the laboratory, you do or you carry out experiment. But if you were a social scientist, you don't go to laboratory. The laboratory is a society. You make observation. The behavior of individuals or society. This is the laboratory in social sciences. If the knowledge is not obtained or tested through this way, it is not a science. Okay. Okay. Science should be obtained and tested through scientific method. This is scientific method. So if knowledge is obtained not through experiments or observation. It is not a science. It is not a science. Any question on it? Any question on it? For example, have you ever studied history?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Have you ever known the name Gajah Mada?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Have you observed Gajah Mada?
By
No, sir.
reading through
No.
poems.
Do you know the image of Gajah Mada?
Just from the sketch.
Just from the
Okay.
textbook.
Well, I tell you, it's not the image of Gajah Mada. It was Peggy Bang. You know Peggy Bang? It is the editor of Muhammad Yamin. He thought that Gajah Mada looked like the Peggy Bang. No, Gajah Mada is handsome. Gajah Mada is handsome, not like the Peggy Bang. It was a Peggy Bang, and you can find such a Peggy Bang in Trawulan. Many Peggy Bangs can be found in Trawulan. You know Trawulan?
Yes, sir.
Before what we call, what is it? The center of Majapahit, you can drop in a Asmuni restaurant. The rawon is very, very nice. You know, rawon, it is black soup.
Yeah, I know.
Black soup. I cannot translate rawon into English. You know, when I invited my American colleague to enjoy rawon, so this rawon, he asked me, "What is it, Peter?" Well, rawon. What rawon? Rowan Atkinson. Oh no, it is Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, not Rowan Atkinson. It's different. Okay. Well, just kidding. Don't be too tense, you know. Okay. So if you don't observe Gajah Mada, so history is not a science. It is a knowledge. Because we cannot make observation on Gajah Mada. Also, Erlangga was a king of, what is it? Kahuripan. You have to know, Erlangga was a king of Kahuripan. Okay, you can discuss about history with me because I know about the history of since before Musindo, since Sanjaya until Majapahit. Okay. Now we turn to this one. Francis Bacon. You know Bacon? For
Yes, sir.
Muslim is not allowed to eat bacon
Some haram things.
because it is pork. Yeah, it's pork. You know, pork, roast pork, roast pork, roast ham. Sorry, roast ham. Roast pork is siopa. Roast chicken is sioke. It is speaking. Well, in England, there was no family name, but because of text, you have to use family name. For example, someone who has not paid a hello suddenly disappear.
It's working now.
Okay, now
Yes, it's working now, sir.
yeah, it's working now. Well, there's a story in England. At the time, there was no family name, but because of tax, uh, everybody has a family name. For example, at the time, there was someone who did not pay the tax, and then the taxman asked, "Who's not pay the tax?" Peter. Peter. Who's Peter? You know, in England there are many Peters. Like in Indonesia, I guess there are some Peters. Peter, oh, well, okay, now. Peter Riverside. Riverside becomes a family name. There's another Peter. Who else? Peter, the Smith. Oh, Peter Smith. Smith becomes family name. There's still another one. Who is he? Peter, the son of John, becomes Peter Johnson. This is the story. I guess his grandfather or great grandfather was a bacon seller, I guess. Francis Bacon. Francis. Like the name of Pope today is Pope Francis. Francis Bacon widely and openly criticized Aristotle's influence. What is Aristotle's influence? He stated that Aristotle had only emphasized theorizing and did not treat raw data collection as part of science itself. This is Bacon. You know, he lived at the 6th. Promoted the importance of experimental scientific method. The first thing, was that, you know, have you ever heard the name Newton? Isaac Newton?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the
Yes.
first law? The first law created by Isaac Newton? Sorry,
About the gravity.
law of gravity. The law of gravity. It's a metaphor. Time, Isaac Newton was in his apple's yard. His apple yard, you know, he was rich. Then he saw to the moon and he saw his apple tree. why people fell down while the moon did not fall down. Because April is influenced by the gravity. This is the first law of Isaac Newton. After Newton created the law of the formulation, then scientific method becomes what I say developed. Data collection and data treatment are the essence of scientific activity. This is now okay. Yeah, inductive method, collecting data by observation rather than by speculation. If you study then if you study political theory, for example, you can find the contract, social contract theory, and then you can find John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, and Rousseau. They assume that before the state of the state of civil was erected, it was state of nature. According to Thomas Hobbes, that in the state of nature, human is a wolf for the others. And his statement in Latin, homo homini lupus. Homo homini lupus. Homo means human being. In Latin is homo. Homini, is the conjugation of homo. Lupus. A person is a wolf of to the other. So there was a what in Latin called bellum omnium contra omnes. Bellum means war, contra omnes, the war of all against all. It is Latin. Well, fortunately, I studied Latin. The war of all against all. This is only the idea. It's not inductive. It is only speculation. Inductive method is a hallmark of science. This is according to Francis Bacon. The use of inductive method is seen as the criterion of demarcation of science and non-science. Okay. Now I will tell you that natural science, the study on natural phenomena, including biological life. What are these? Physics, chemistry, and biology. Physics, chemistry, and biology. These are natural sciences. Social science, the study on human and society behavior. The study on human society, the study on human conduct in society. Well, now I turn to, okay, I don't want it. It's science or not? Okay, please. I repeat, knowledge that is obtained and tested through scientific method. Scientific methods should be experiment or observation. Is there any observation on it? Or just only the formulation of thinking? Okay, please answer. Is it experiment or observation? Or just the formulation of our thought? Okay, please answer.
Let me
Gabriel.
answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is kind of experiment that leads to the conclusions. So can be accepted by human
Experiment?
thinking.
Experiment? What is
Started from
experiment?
experiment.
What is your experiment?
Experiment is something that
No,
we are
it's
doing
not experiment.
to.
There's no, it is not experiment.
Non experiment.
No, no experiment. There's no experiment means that you have to water, for example. You have to water maybe frozen and becomes the water becomes ice.
Excuse me, sir.
Or
Not
if the
clear.
water is boiled, you know,
Your voice is
water is
not clear.
boiled, there will be what is evaporation. Evaporize. Yes. Sure. Hello, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
It's clear now?
Yes.
Why? I don't know. Okay. Well, I just want to ask you, if if water, for example, you put on the fire, you may put on the stove, for example, the water will boil, okay, and there is if it will evaporize, okay. It is experiment. It is an experiment. This one, the triangle is not an experiment. There's no experiment on it. So it is not a science. It is only logical thinking like this. Still remember that? Well,
No, sir.
I learned that when I was in the junior high school, long time ago. Long time ago, more than 50 years. More than 50 years. But I still understand the mathematics. Okay, Stewart, for example, Stewart formulation. I still remember that. So it's not a science. It's not a science. So we turn to scientia because of time. The Latin word scientia did not have the same meaning as the modern term science. It meant knowledge. Knowledge. The term scientia contains within it the idea of a certain rationality. Only the rationality. If it is not rational, if irrational, it is not scientia. Okay. Well, in Bahasa, it is still debatable. I don't think that in Bahasa we call it ilmu should be a science now. Scientia can be translated into ilmu. This is, well, there's a, of course, I have a reference on it. Geoffrey Samuel. Okay, now we turn to this one. Science or scientia. Greek episteme. Scientia episteme. In Latin, influenced languages such as French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian, the word scientia is still retained and it refers to knowledge. You know, in France, the spelling is the same as English, but the meaning is different. In France, science c'est-à-dire science is knowledge rather than science. Okay, if you find the word science in France, it is scientia or knowledge rather than science. The same word but different meaning. There are many same French words as English words, but they have different meaning. It is widely accepted that the word science does not refer to activity that deals with induction, but also includes deductive activities like Pythagorean theory. Like Pythagorean theory, it is only deductive. It's not experiment. Now, classification of sciences. Descriptive sciences, value-free, and prescriptive sciences, value-loaded. It has been removed by Ibu Risma. a formerly well-known red district in Surabaya. You know red district? Localization of
Prostitution.
prostitution
Right.
localization. It's red district. We call it red district. I don't know why red, but in France we call it Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge. But sometimes they say Moulin Rouge. No, Moulin Rouge. Moulin means mill. Moulin Rouge. Rouge means red in France. Moulin Rouge. Its attitude. In fact, in Surabaya, there is the greatest prostitution localization in Indonesia. In fact, it was in Southeast Asia, you know, at the time. Not only in Indonesia. It was the largest prostitution localization in Southeast Asia. Now, Surabaya becomes the city of hero again. Because such a complex brings about bad image for Surabaya. There's about bad image for Surabaya as a city of hero. He has value. This one has no value in it. Just a fact. This is also has value. He stated pursuit is good. Well, this is the value. Which one you want? You want to do well? This one or this one or this one? It depends on the person. It depends on the person. Okay. Descriptive science deals with empirical studies. This one so is changed through observation or the comments now suggest that things be done in accordance with certain values on to certain norms. Now, and then if you blow, there's a wind. There's wind. So you cannot come and hey, wind, stop. No. As long as you blow, the wind blows. Okay? You cannot command. Like coronavirus, you cannot command, hey, coronavirus, stop. No. You pray. And sometimes some of my friends to reject coronavirus by bringing, hi, corona, go away. No. Corona still here. You cannot do that. You just pray, oh God, please, do the best, God, do the best. Protect me from any virus or bacteria or anything from disease. This is just only pray this way. You say, hi, get away, coronavirus. No, it's not. I'm not Jesus. Truth in descriptive science is correspondent truth. This one. This is experiment. Populated area. Populated area. This is experimental group. This is control group, for example. This is research conducted by my colleague from the social political science faculty. Rural electrification. Rural electrification. Then, what is the result? Birth rate declines. Birth rate declines. Why? Because people can see a TV until midnight. They do nothing else. You know what I mean? Because they can watch TV until midnight, until in the morning. Do you understand what I mean? So birth rate declines. No rural electrification. What is the result? Birth rate remains. Why? Because there's no electrification. So when the sun sets and then the day become nights, and then well, they could not see your TV, they could not see the film. They make film by themselves. You know what I mean? They make film by themselves, and they become actors and actresses, and but they remain. So there's correlation. Sorry, correlation between electric and birth rate. This is experiment. Sorry, I don't know why it's unstable. The internet is unstable. Okay, so there's a correlation. Do you hear my voice? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right
Yes,
now,
sir.
you're
Yes,
clear.
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
There's a correlation between rural electrification and birth rate. This is experiment. Okay. Well, okay. Now, prescriptive science. 5 more minutes. Pak Umar, 5 more minutes.
7 minutes left.
7?
7.
7 minutes.
Yes.
Fine. It is also called normative science. Value loaded. To some extent, it deals with decision making. You are here. We are here. We are here. So we are here. We are in prescriptive science. Truth in prescriptive science is coherent truth. It's not correspondence truth. It is coherent truth. We are here to prescribe coherent truths. A statement or belief is true if and only if it coheres or chimes with other statement or belief. Robert C. Solomon. Dear Dorsey, this way. Okay, you cannot. You should not read all of this word. So only this one. Science, thanks to its link with observation, retains some title to its correspondent theory of truth. But a coherence theory is evidently the law of ethics. Law is the law of ethics. Law is in the law of ethics. It is in the area of ethics. So we have to find the coherence theory rather than correspondence theory. An example: whoever takes a good, either wholly or partly, belongs to another in a manner contrary to law, with the intent to convert owner thereof, will be punished because of larceny by up to a 5-year imprisonment or up to a 900 rupiah fine. For example, Fred took a cellular phone from a cigarette kiosk. When it is left unattended by the cigarette vendor, who is the owner of the phone, whether it coheres this article, yes, it's coherence. You can, is not. Now, jurisprudence is not legal science. Jurisprudence from Latin word juris and prudentia. Means wisdom. Oh, sorry. Jurisprudence is not legal science. We use it, the word for study on law is jurisprudence. Jurisprudence. Juris and prudentia. Juris in plural of jus, that means a guidance to obtain justice, and prudentia means wisdom. Juris is a plural. Jus means law too, but in English we have only word law. In Latin we say law, lex and jus. Jus may be written or unwritten law. Jus. But lex is written law. You know, European words are more complete, are well, more than English words. Yeah. Okay. See you again on Wednesday. If you have any question, please ask me on the tutorial. Okay. See you.
See you, Prof.
See you, Prof.
Well.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Professor.
I think I have to
Thank you, sir.
give her. Yeah. You can stay safe and healthy.
You too.
You too, Prof.
Hello, hello, Hanum.
Yeah, Prof.
See you. Okay, Umar. See you
See you.
every day.
Thank you, Prof.
You, sir.
Yes, sir.